Good morning, everybody. My name is Marketa Burkova from Founders Investment and Trade, and welcome to the webinar about the Czech industry, the defense industry. Uh, Please let me introduce our first speaker, the Belgian ambassador to the Czech Republic, Jürgen van Meijeren. Please take the floor.
Right. Good morning, all of you. It's a privilege to address you today on this subject of great importance and significance to our nation, to Europe, and to the wider transatlantic community, the defense sectors of Belgium and Czechia. Their shared structures, their potential for deeper cooperation, and the geopolitical realities that make such collaboration not merely desirable, but indeed essential. We meet at a time when geopolitical tensions have returned with force, or rather when strategic competition once again shapes international affairs, and when Europe's security is being tested in ways not seen in decades. In this environment, the defense capabilities of individual nations are not simply domestic concerns. They are indispensable components of collective security. As committed members of both NATO and the European Union, Belgium and Czechia share a vision of a resilient, interoperable, and forward-looking defense posture. Although our two countries differ in size, history, and past levels of investment, our defense sectors share key structural characteristics that create fertile ground for cooperation. First, both nations maintain dual-use industrial bases, where civilian technological excellence intersects naturally with defense applications. Belgium's strength in aerospace, advanced electronics, and cyber technologies mirrors the Czech Republic's long-standing expertise in land systems, precision engineering, and IT security. This duality reflects a modern reality. Defense innovation does not stand apart from the civilian economy. It draws from it, strengthens it, and returns value to it. Second, both countries are home to mid-sized defense enterprises, firms agile enough to innovate rapidly, yet substantial enough to participate credibly in international programs. These companies already operate within European and NATO supply chains, sharing standards, doctrines, and industrial niches. This alignment creates a natural platform for cross-border cooperation. Third, our procurement systems are increasingly transparent, competitive, and strategically aligned. Both governments recognize that procurement is not merely a technical process. It is a strategic instrument supporting deterrence, resilience, and technological leadership. Together, these shared structural traits create the foundations for deeper industrial collaboration. Where then lies the potential for joint access to defense markets in Europe and beyond? The answer is very simple: in synergy. Belgian excellence in aerospace and electronics, combined with Czech strengths in land systems and cybersecurity, forms an industrial partnership capable of offering integrated, competitive solutions. Together, our companies can tender for programs that may be out of reach individually, but are compelling when presented as a unified bid. Picture a joint proposal for a multinational armored vehicle program. Belgian firms supplying state-of-the-art communications and sensor packages, Czech partners delivering proven platform technologies. Such comprehensive offerings are precisely what EU and NATO procurement schemes increasingly favor. And beyond Europe, opportunities are growing, modernizing armed forces in Africa. The Middle East and Asia seek interoperable systems at competitive cost. A Belgium-Czech consortium can provide exactly that: reliability, quality, NATO standard compatibility, and affordability. Joint markets access also means coordinated export strategies, aligning diplomatic support, pooling marketing efforts, and presenting united industrial propositions. This amplifies visibility, increases bargaining power, and strengthens political backing for approved exports. Access to financing is just as crucial as access to markets. Modern defense programs are complex and capital intensive, often stretching across many years. Here again, collaboration unlocks opportunities. Both Belgium and the Czech Republic are active in European defense funding programs, such as the European Defense Fund. Joint research and development projects in autonomous systems, secure communications, or AI-enabled defense technologies can attract substantial co-financing when built as transnational initiatives. Pooling national resources can also help small and medium-sized enterprises overcome financial barriers, allowing them to participate fully in major programs. Joint ventures, shared infrastructure, and co-investment vehicles can spread risk and attract private capital. Crucially, when two governments signal united political backing for a cooperative industrial initiative, financial institutions take notice. A larger, more diversified binational portfolio is simply more attractive than isolated national efforts. All these factors, structural compatibility, market access, financing, are framed by a broader geopolitical landscape. The Russian invasion of Ukraine fundamentally reshaped Europe's security environment, underscoring the need for resilient supply chains, long-term industrial capacity, and credible deterrence. Belgium and Czechia may respond differently in some areas, but they share the same strategic understanding. Strong defense capabilities are indispensable to national and collective security. A more integrated European defense industry strengthens NATO, reduces reliance on external supplies, and ensures that Europe can act as a credible security provider. At the same time, global technological competition, including China's expanding influence, demands that European nations invest in semiconductors, secure AI, advanced materials, and next-generation systems. Belgium and the Czech Republic, working together, can significantly contribute to Europe's strategic autonomy in these fields. To translate potential into concrete results, we must take practical steps. Establish structured, regular dialogues between our ministries, industries, and research institutions. Launch pilot projects that demonstrate the value of cooperation, joint platforms, shared R&D, coordinated export efforts. Align procurement practices, reducing barriers and enabling predictable joint participation. Pursue joint financing opportunities from EU and NATO mechanisms from the earliest stages of program design. And lastly, create public-private partnership forums where governments and industry co-develop solutions to shared strategic priorities. Belgium and Czechia possess defense sectors that are agile, innovative, and complementary. They are not only national assets, they are vital contributors to European and transatlantic security. By deepening cooperation in markets, financing, and technological development, our nations can enhance competitiveness, reinforce interoperability, and strengthen collective defense at a time of rising global uncertainty. Let us seize this opportunity to innovate together, to build together, and to contribute together to a safer, stronger, and a more secure Europe. Today's webinar marks an important first step towards that shared future. Thank you, and I wish you all a fruitful and interesting webinar. Thank you.
Thank you for your contribution, Mr. Ambassador. Now I would like to welcome the second speaker, the Vice President of the Czech Defense and Security Association, Kristina Helm. She will give an overview of the Czech defense industry and the possible cooperation. Please, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. Your Excellency, thank you very much for your wonderful opening speech. You went very deep into critical areas. I will address them further in my presentation that I prepared. So I will just share the slides. So I will unfortunately need to leave in about 20 minutes. So I will just go through the overview, and I have also here with me a colleague, Anna Beck, who can then answer following questions. And also, if you want to, you can reach out to me. You will get this presentation. It is available for you. You can reach out to me also via LinkedIn or email address. So I'll start with the overview of our industry, and I'll start with our association where I'm working and I'm representing today. We are representing defense and security sector of the Czech Republic already since 1997, and currently we have 250 members. Non-governmental, non-profit organization. We are partnering with key players in the governmental sector, Ministry of Defense, Foreign Affairs, Interior, Industry and Trade. And we're also very much involved, and that's mostly me personally, in EU topics related to activities of DG DEFIS, European Defense Fund and other programs, and also European Defense Agency, and then within NATO, myself, Deputy Head of the NATO Industrial Advisory Group Czech delegation, and also the board member of Science and Technology Organization of NATO. So we are also trying to actively engage in these platforms. The main reason for that is the structure of the industry. We have a wide industry that you will see in the following slides, but we don't have that big army. So we are heavily oriented on export, which is 90% on average of the production goes abroad, while with some companies it's even 100%. Here you can see development of our export of military equipment in the basically past 20 years. So you can see a steep curve, and it's continuing to go up. And the areas that we are exporting now, mostly ammunition, but also vehicles, handguns, aircraft, electronic equipment, manufacturing devices, and so on. Here's interesting to have a look where we export. Now, of course, Ukraine is the main focus, which you can see as the green 45% cut of the cake. But other than that, we always had Europe and European countries around 1/3 of our export destinations, and then continuing with Middle East, with North America, Africa, Southeast Asia, and so on. What this shows is that we are really able to accommodate to very different mentalities, very different clients, and be successful on various markets. Here's just a little bit of a story of the Czech defense industry, which I believe is important to understand because it also then clarifies what is going on at the moment. So our tradition, these are the 3 words if I would just have to say story of Czech defense industry in 3 words, would be tradition, resilience, and experience. Tradition is because our ability to produce weapon systems goes back to the Habsburg monarchy, where we were providing this for the whole region. And then we were building on that experience. And we have in our portfolio companies that celebrated 200 years, 150 years. So the tradition and the legacy is really there. But we have come to a very difficult historical period where it was paradoxically extremely beneficial and great period for the nation as such, because it was after the Soviet Union fell apart in the 90s. But for defense industry, this was the hardest period, because then political representation was so focused on peace that they somehow believed that no defense industry is improving the peace environment. And that unfortunately proved wrong. But what happened at that time in the 90s, that many companies were sold abroad, many companies were shut down. And it was really thanks to a handful of people who still believe that this legacy needs to be kept, that we're able to maintain with some key technologies that we have. And also, as the industry was basically reviving again, many companies that were sold abroad are getting back or got back already into the Czech ownership again. And this all gave us resilience, but also experience with good times, with bad times, with small army, but incredible export markets abroad. And the feedback that Czech defense companies usually get from the customers is that they are extremely good in adapting the technological solution, but also the way of doing business that fits the customer, and we're going towards what the customer needs, which, for example, many Western companies of even similar size to ours, they just don't do that. And some markets for them are not important. We're treating the markets the same. Now, our members are reflecting the structure of the industry, where we really cover the full spectrum from land system, air systems, guns, ammunition, and many other areas, which I will now show you. The only thing we're not covering really is naval systems, as we do not have access to sea. So to understand how the Czech defense industry looks at the moment, I picked up I will tell you the structure, and I picked up several companies. I'm not presenting 250 companies now, but I will show you like a flavor of the areas that we're doing, so that you maybe are potentially able to identify some partners for yourself. So the largest company that we have is Czechoslovak Group. Last week also entered the stock market, and it's not just the largest defense company, it's the largest company in total in the Czech Republic and in Slovakia. So they are having a really wide portfolio across the whole spectrum. Cold Caesar Group is the second largest company. I will then talk about them further. And then Omnipol, very traditional company, and STV Group. So these are the largest 4 players. They own some of the companies that I will now talk about, so I will always tell you which one it is. So from the areas, we have quite a luxury these days to have many providers of weapon systems and ammunition, which, given the situation in Europe and the war in Ukraine, is now proving to be a critical thing. And also what is typical for weapons and ammunition is that you just cannot put the production up in a very short time. So if you don't have it, it takes quite a long time to put it up. The most traditional handguns from Česká zbrojovka in Uherský Brod, large caliber ammunition from STV Group. They're also doing explosives and small caliber ammunition. Cellier Ballot, part of Colt CZ Group, celebrated 200 years last year. So that's, I think, the oldest company that we have in the spectrum. And they were one of those that was always had a production in the Czech Republic, but was sold abroad and bought back 2 years ago. Zaveta Ammunition, focusing on grenades and special munition. Explosia, a critical supplier, state-owned company that is providing the explosives that are needed for all sorts of ammunition. And then, for example, Spolena, providing chemical substances that are needed for ammunition production. When we look at the land systems, important player is, we always in all the systems have a key integrator that is a state-owned company. That's how things work here. So even when you have big acquisition programs, be it from Czech companies or being from companies abroad, it always goes through the state-owned company integrator. So for land systems is VOPCZ. Then Tatra, another company with a long legacy, very well known for their special chassis that can carry all types of vehicles in all types of environments, and also part of Czechoslovak Group. Excalibur Army, another company, part of Czechoslovak Group, a critical supplier for Ukraine at the moment in many areas. And then, for example, SWOS, which is a company producing different types of armored vehicles and also strengthening the ballistic protection of civilian vehicles for all sorts of forces. And then we have companies like Mortar Investments that are able to refurbish, reconstruct all technique. From aerospace and aviation systems, our main integrator, state-owned company, Long Praha. And then our flagship company in this area is Aerovodochody, also long historical tradition. And currently, with their newest model of L-39 Skyfox, they're entering new markets with this trainer jet that is also able to act as a fighter jet in certain conditions. PBS Group is a very fast-growing company, and I would bet that they're going to become one of the large players very soon, as in the past 2-3 years, they have tripled their production, opening also production in the US, and they're part of large programs like F-35 acquisition program for the Czech Republic. And they're doing power units that can be used in all kind of applications for be it aircraft or be it missiles. Our largest domain, the most renowned domain, and also I would say technological, the most advanced domains is radar systems, where we really have a tradition in variety of radar systems, starting with ERA with their passive surveillance systems, delivering to more than, I think it's around now 70 customers in the world. They're part of Omnipol Group. Czechoslovak Group has an aerospace division that is focused on radar systems for civilian and defense purposes with 2 companies, Eldis and Retia. They're also now advancing in the counter-UAS and UAV solutions. GISR Institute has capabilities for joint intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance, and URC Systems is making advanced technologies for electronic warfare and critical infrastructure protection. Then we have many advanced players in the area of military communication and electronic systems. For example, Pramacom that is making C4I star systems, also bought by many NATO countries. Race service, specific cable harnesses, and electromechanical assemblies that are being used for all the large platforms, be it armored vehicles, be it aircraft. And then MESID, also part of Omnipol Group, is having tactical communication systems, also applicable to many platforms. And for example, Connect Group with electronic manufacturing services. From IT systems, I picked up for today Aura, which is logistics information systems, now currently used, I think, in more than 20 countries. And that's basically a software that armies are using for catalogization of their equipment. Then, for example, Easy Software, specializing in project management, specifically also for defense. And another great company we have is Space Node, that is analyzing satellites pictures from all sorts of sources, and then they are using advanced AI solution, and it proved to be very helpful currently in Ukraine. From protective systems, the human protection, ballistic vests, I picked up, we have more representatives here, but for example, Argon. Then also mobile roadblocks from IBIPC, or module protective storage systems for all sorts of environments. And then from special equipment, we have ALSAT, that is having various products for intelligence services, and not just those. Then EO security, protectors and jammers. Works well for infrared cameras and systems that are also applicable on land or drones or other air systems. For example, ground detection is a nice showcase of cooperation with universities and industry, because this is an incubator project at University in Hradec Králové that is a device that can detect heartbeat. So it's used for example, migration tracking when you just put it next to the car. I've seen it working in practice, and it shows you, is there a person in the car or not? And then we have providers of food services specialized for armed forces, army cutlery, but also food transport services. And we are very good in training and simulation, where VR Group is also part of a state-owned company, Lon Praha, and they are very good and now currently being deployed to all these large acquisition programs that we have. Also Bagheera and Dogfight Boss with professional training solutions. For logistics, we have two members that are basically the main enablers of this export of transporting the military material, which is not an easy thing either. So Swordfish is the most traditional one, and now newly also DHL. From R&D, many companies that I've mentioned already, they're very involved in R&D activities. The key player in this area is a state-owned company, VTU, Military Technical Institute, that also is doing all sorts of certifications that are needed for Czech businesses to work in the area of defense sector. And then we have several universities. So University of Defense is one now. This is a technical university in Brno, also a university in Pilsen. So there is a lot of cooperation. And then we also are cooperating with Research Institute for Building Materials that are working on advanced materials, which is also a new area within the emerging and disruptive technologies. And then our member base has widened recently very much, and we have many providers of components and manufacturing. I picked up, for example, Protect Parts that are doing armored metal plates. Rubena are doing all sorts of rubber components, Schaeffler motion components, TGS manufacturing technologies for engineering companies, and Kentingen is providing automated quality control machines. And because we believe that it's not enough to just gather in our association companies that are producing the defense material. We are creating ecosystems where we are also cooperating with companies from civilian sector, from services companies, and from other sectors that in past would not be such critical players for us, but are today, as they are, adapting their services and helping to co-create a good environment for the Czech defense sector to grow and thrive. For example, Akadis, a very large company in Czech Republic now focusing on defense sector from technology and engineering solution. We also have Citibank as one of our partners who is having special programs, not just for defense companies, but also for governments in operating with defense contracts. Luminova venture capital fund that is focused on dual-use technologies. Marsh is, for example, insurance company having special programs for defense companies. And then we have defense consulting that is helping civilian companies to understand more in defense and dual-use sector, and many more. So that's where I will stop, because I could talk about this until the evening. However, you can check more on our webpage where we have all our 250 members. And I would like to use this opportunity before I have to go to invite you to several events. First is Czech Industry Day that we will have on 17th of February. So you can register there, and there you would have a chance to meet in person our companies and hear about them a little bit more. And it's an event that is combined with the second event that we are doing on a European scale, which is EDF on-site matchmaking for this current European Defence Fund calls that have been published already by European Commission. So Prague is hosting on 17th of February a large event where companies from all across Europe can be finding their partners for specific EDF calls. So you are warmly welcome to apply there and register there. I think there is still some capacity, but it's not, it's already quite booked. So if you think about going there, don't hesitate. Then we are hosting 2 major defense exhibitions. They're always shifting every year. So this year it's Future Forces Forum in Prague, which is a conference focused on various topics from EU and NATO, but also an exhibition happening 21st to 23rd of October. The best chance to meet Czech defense companies is when you meet them there and you can see what they're producing as they're showcasing it there. And the next year we will have IDET in Brno at the end of May. And that is all from my side. It was a really brief going through Czech defense industry. As you can see that there is a lot and there are many areas that we could discuss together, but also what I consider this event is to be a kickoff for further cooperation between Czech Republic and Belgium. We do believe, and from my personal experience, the cooperation between countries, smaller countries within Europe is usually a very efficient way of strengthening national defense industries, but also the European defense technological industrial base. And we have very good cooperation with several countries. I will be very happy to see more Czech-Belgium events going forward. And I would like to thank very much to your embassy and to the organizers who made this happen. And I will be looking forward to meeting you hopefully somewhere in person when we can do a follow-up event on that. So that's all from my side.
Thank you very much, dear Christina, for a very nice introduction to this sector. We have here a third speaker who is coming with a showcase. It's a Czechoslovak group, the largest group in the sector, as already mentioned. It entered the stock market last week, and this showcase will be given by Daniel Dobiaš, EU Affairs Manager, based in Brussels. Please start your speech.
Hello, so thank you for a warm welcome and for the invitation. So Christina already mentioned our group. So I will show you my presentation if I may. So Czechoslovak Group, as Christina mentioned, we are right now the biggest defense group in Czech Republic, not only in defense sector but in general. We have opened recently this year, at the beginning of this year, the office in Brussels. So I'm representing this company right now in Brussels. So we are close to Belgium, of course, but also to the EU institutions where important decisions are made in those days. So it's necessary to be close and to be active and actively involved. So Czechoslovak group, when we are talking about this group, it's not an easy task because today it's about more than 100 companies based all over the world. So we grew up in Czech Republic, in Slovakia. This is why we are called Czechoslovak group, right? But today we are way more than that. As you can see on this slide, we are pretty much everywhere. In the US, last year we did a very big acquisition of the Kinetic Group, which is mainly focused on small and medium caliber ammunition. And then we are growing in Europe, so it's not only about Czech Republic and Slovakia. However, we are very proud of our origins. But we are also in Italy, Germany, Spain, of course, UK, and so on. But as Christina also mentioned and presented some of our companies, we are still mainly in Czech Republic and Slovakia because we are still consider each other as brothers. So you can see on this map where we are based, where our main company are based. So it's mainly in Prague, in Pardubice, which is like the industrial heart of Czech Republic. And then in Slovakia, it's mainly around Trenčín, so at the border with Czech Republic. So we have a long-standing tradition. The oldest factory that we have is in Granada, in Spain. So it's a very long tradition. We recently celebrated, well, two years ago already. So times fly. But we celebrated 700 years. So we are very proud of this long tradition. And as Christina already mentioned in the presentation, for example, Tatra Trucks, the leading company in Czech Republic regarding trucks, it has also very long and pretty nice tradition. So how we are divided, as it's more than 100 companies, we are divided in five divisions. So the main one right now would be defense, but also we have aerospace, business projects, ammo plus mobility. So defense, it includes mainly ammunition and land systems. Ammo plus will be more towards medium and small caliber ammunition. Mobility, so it's, for example, Tatra Trucks, and aerospace, so it's companies like Eldis or Retia that are focusing on R&D in radar, sensors, and so on. So I know you have been presented a lot of companies in the previous presentation, so now let's focus more on the companies that are owned by Czechoslovak Group. So we can start in defense. So firstly, we have Excalibur Army. So Excalibur Army, it manufactures and supplies ground equipment for security forces and rescue services. It manufactures also and repairs engines and spare parts for military wheeled and truck vehicles. It's a very big company, and it also manufactures howitzers such as Dita, Morana, and so on. For example, also decontamination vehicle called Decon. Then we have RSM Group, which is very important for us, but because it can manufacture pretty much everything in a large caliber ammunition, 155, 152, 120 for tank, and so on. So this, as we saw it in Ukraine, and unfortunately as we see it also right now, it's very important, and still Europe lacks this ability to build production lines and to create and to manufacture enough ammunitions. We are also, what's interesting maybe about this group, because it's like a group within the group, is that it's growing very fast, and also we are focusing on covering the whole life cycle of the ammunition. So we can do pretty much everything. When we are talking about mobility, as His Excellency mentioned in his presentation, it's also very important, the cooperation between the civilian and defense sector. So Tatra trucks, they are a great example of it. As we said, very long tradition in producing the trucks that are used for military, but also for construction, mining, forestry, agriculture, firefighting, as you can see on this slide. So the use of Tatra trucks, vehicles, is really very, very large. When we are talking about aerospace, so we have two main companies, Eldis and Retia. So also His Excellency mentioned importance of synergies. So we are also always trying that our companies work together and create synergies in R&D, in sales, in procurement, in pretty much everything that can where synergies can be made. So about Eldis, so it's mainly radar systems, but also they can do air traffic control systems. Yeah, and it can be also used in civilian and defense sector. So it can be, again, we are here in dual use. The other company based very close to Eldis, it's called Retia. And also it's focusing a lot on R&D in radars. It can do all the phases of radar industry, meaning from technology development through manufacturing, softwaring, and so on. As we see today in Ukraine, R&D is a key for defense companies because we are looking at the situation in Ukraine, and we see how fast everything is evolving, and that if we want to be competitive in the future, we need to evolve, and R&D is a key part of it. So this is why we are very R&D oriented, and it's not only in ammunition or land systems. We are, as you can see on this slide, we can also do different type of machines. And for example, we are very proud that we have now efficient production of water from air machine, which is already sold in some markets. Talking about R&D, so we can talk now more about the European projects, such as EDF, where we are involved, for example, through our company Land Systems in main battle tank. So there is a follow-up call in EDF this year, so we are looking forward to it. But we have been also involved in ASAP, EDIRPA, and many others. We see that, for example, in aerospace, it's very trendy and there are growing opportunities for this sector. So Eldis, Retia, they are growing and looking for international partners, because we see also the trend in the European Union that EU wants member states and companies to cooperate together, to cooperate European, which is great. And so it's important to have new partners. So we are looking for it. We are also planning to be active in EDIP, of course, and in flagship projects. So there are many opportunities right now in Brussels. Thank you.
Thank you, Daniel, for a nice overview. I would like to mention that this webinar is a preparation for a possible matchmaking event during Eurosatory in June in Paris. And there will also be a second webinar on the Belgian defense industry for Czech companies. Now, if you have any questions, just put them in the chat or turn on your mic. As I'm no expert, I will ask our defense attaché, Jan Maanout, to take over.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Jan Maanout, the Belgian defense attaché, based in Berlin, but also accredited to the Czech Republic and to Hungary. So I've been asked to moderate the questions. So you either can raise your hand and then you get the floor, or I'll take a question written in the chat. Yeah, the floor is yours. Be my guest. I'll start as they are numbered on my screen. So I give the floor to Mathieu Poesen.
Yes, good morning. I'm Mathieu Poesen. I represent the company Crosby. We're based in Belgium, near Antwerp. So first of all, many thanks for the invite. We received an awful lot of information on a very short time. A few questions. Will these slides be made available to us? And the second question is, for the matchmaking events, can we get some more details, or can we get in touch with you outside of this meeting, Jan, at a later date? That was my question.
Yes, thanks for those questions. For that, I will ask the organizers of the meeting, and especially maybe Frederic Delbar, you can shed a light on the possibilities of getting the slides and providing more info on the matchmaking. Frederic, you have the floor.
Yes, of course. Everything will be available for all the participants. And as for the B2B and matchmaking contact that will be organized during the Eurosatori trade show in Paris, of course, you can always contact us in order to be part of it. The main goal is to try to identify the right partners during the show, either that companies that are showing up at the show, who are exhibiting, or even visitors, based on, of course, the profile of each company and their strategies. Of course, there will be a follow-up.
Okay, thank you. And then I have a question from Michel Hoffman. Good morning. You have the floor.
Thank you, Jan, for giving me the floor. Thank you also for the insightful presentations that we received this morning. I have a question for the cluster. First of all, you mentioned that you have a very wide defense cluster, more or less similar to what we have in Belgium. It was very interesting also for me to understand that the integrators are also state-owned companies. In that respect, I have a question. To what extent does that also influence collaboration with companies that are not based in Czech? Does that have an impact or not? So that's my first question. Second question that I have is for the company CSG. Also very interesting presentation. Thank you for that. Maybe a question to what way I expected the answer to be yes, but still I want to raise it. Will you be at Eurosatory? Because we plan to be there together with AWEX, with a big delegation. So it would be very good to see how we can connect over there. And second question that I have for you as well is, are there certain types of profiles that you are looking for? Because CSG is a very big company, has a lot of subsidiaries as well. Are there certain particular gaps in the supply chain that you are trying to fill here? Or what are the type of profiles that you're looking for to collaborate with? So these are my questions. Thank you.
Maybe if I can propose to start with CSG questions and give the floor to Daniel. Please go ahead.
Yeah, sure. Thank you for the questions. So yes, we will be indeed in Eurosatory, so please feel free to contact me and we can meet over there. As you know, I'm also in Brussels, so we can meet in Brussels. And good news is that also we will be in BEDEX. So yeah, so we can meet over there, or if you prefer Paris, then we can do it in Paris.
No, Brussels is good. I was not aware that you're in Brussels, so let's connect here. That's also perfect.
And regarding the second question, well, you know, we are like over 100 companies, so we are looking always for everything for partners, and it's really hard to streamline and to say that for now we are looking for the producers of this component or that one. So what I would suggest, so if you have something that you would like to be the part of the supply chain, please feel free to send me the presentation of your company or I don't know, the pitch or whatever you prefer, and then we can distribute it inside of our company towards the right companies that might be interested in this opportunity.
Okay, we'll do so. Thank you.
And then I have a question on this, the impact of the state-owned company. So I don't know if Mrs. Helm is still online or somebody from AOBP.
No, I will take this. My
Okay,
name
good,
is Anna
thanks.
Beck. I'm Miss Helm's colleague that, as she mentioned, unfortunately, she had another meeting to attend. So I will answer your question. AOBP is a non-governmental, non-business, and non-profit organization. We do have 3 companies that are governmentally owned or state-owned, but our primary motive is to facilitate cooperation with the Czech industry. So it is not us primarily that you want to cooperate with, but our companies, and we treat all our companies fairly. Yeah. If you want any more information on a specific company, please feel free to reach out either to me or Ms. Helm via LinkedIn, via email. We will provide our contact information, and we are very happy to connect you with a Czech company.
Okay, we'll do so. Thank you very much.
And then maybe also for you, Ms. Beck, there's a question from Adrien. It would be interesting to have more info on the integrators, role, structure, and processes. So maybe you can either elaborate or provide the information via mail, maybe.
Yes, this is a complicated question that is very different in every country, it seems. I will be happy to provide more detailed information via mail. However, integrators in the Czech Republic play a vital role. Their structure is usually connected with Czech companies. The Czech government does prefer cooperation and intense cooperation with the Czech defense industry. So if you would be interested in learning more about that, we can provide more information. I'm not sure if that answers your question.
I'll give the floor to Adrien. Maybe you can elaborate if it's okay.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, and I'm sorry if I couldn't take the floor before because I'm in a very noisy place, unfortunately. So that's why I didn't take the floor. But yes, I will revert back to Ms. Beck via email to have more information. And thank you already for the information she has given. Thank you.
Okay, thanks. Any more from the audience? I don't see any hands raised nor messages. Go ahead. Yes, Frederick.
So I just wanted to add that, of course, all the companies that are present today can always rely on WAWEX and FIT and the local offices in order to reach out to local partners, to local companies, to the AOBP, of course. And we are here to help and try to, create a link between partners. That's all I wanted to say.
Okay, thank you. Then I have a question from Chris. Go ahead, Chris.
Yes, good morning. I have a question for Mr. Dobias. I'm Chris van Rouwaard. I'm from Flanders Space. I'm representing the Flemish actors which are working in the space domain. So I was wondering, does CSG have a roadmap focusing more on space technology and the integration of space technologies within your defense portfolio? And you mentioned radar and air traffic systems in the aerospace domain, but what about, let's say, Earth observation data or other capabilities that you could use into defense developments?
Well, for the moment, we don't have a proper space division. It's in aerospace division, but it's minor for us for the moment. However, CSG is growing really fast, so in the future it might change pretty quick, and we see many opportunities in space right now. Also, when we are looking at the budget that the European Union wants to consider, wants to dedicate to the space in next financial framework. So not for the moment, not much for the moment, but it might change in the future.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. I have maybe a personal question for Mr. Michel Hofman from Agoria. I don't know if you're still online. There was a signing in October of a memorandum of understanding in October 25 between Belgian and Czech Republic defense industry organizations. So maybe you could give a little explanation about that topic just for awareness for the audience. I don't know, Michel, if you're still there. Yeah, thanks a lot.
Yes, I'm here, but maybe I'll give the floor to Anton Boykes. He's from the BSDI Federation with whom the MOU was signed. Anton, are you still there?
Yes, I'm there, and unfortunately you cannot see me, but yes, indeed, to answer the question about the MOU that was signed earlier last year, our team has been extended since then. I am new in the organization. I'm the International Defense Cooperation Manager, and I will travel to Prague for the Czech Industry Day on the 17th of February and look forward to get to know the team of AOBP and the rest of the industry there. So that will be the first contact that we have. And the idea is, at least for our part, to participate in the webinar on the 19th of February to present to the Czech side our Belgian industry and get to know each other even better. And then the follow-on in the matchmaking that we can set up in Eurosatory, as already indicated, that is also something that is what we are looking forward to and participating as an association. But this event in particular was set up by the Flemish and Walloon investment organizations, so FIT and AWEX. But we, of course, are always happy to participate, and we are in a good connection with those organizations. So it's yeah.
Okay, thanks a lot. I have a question from Arnaud. Go ahead.
Thank you very much, Jan. It's not really a question. It's just to add and try to clarify for the people attending this very structured and well-detailed webinar that we are 3 of FIT, even 4 or even more at FIT, here participating to this webinar. As I'm based in Brussels and I take care of the region Central and Eastern Europe. So I'm somewhat the area manager or advisor based in the Brussels office of Flanders Western Trade. And then you have my colleague Markéta Borůvková. She is based in Prague. She's our valuable purser taking care of all things for our companies in Prague. And then Michel Hofman is our defense specialist at Flanders Investment and Trade. And all together, and also my colleague Sophie de Ridder is in the call. She's assisting us in all these activities. And even Christophe. So we are a well-equipped team, and that's why I'm very happy again also to the participation of the ambassador and also the relevant Czech organizations on defense and the big company, which is very much an interesting partner for future cooperation between Belgian companies, Flanders and Walloon companies. So we are very happy to have had this moment to share all this information, and it's indeed a build-up to the big event in the next few months to come, which is Eurosatory, the big fair. And in that aspect, we will organize together with AWEX a side event, bringing together the Belgian companies in defense sector and the Czech companies. But all this information will flow to all of you in the next few weeks and months to come. But this was really the start of the kickoff meeting of the bigger events we are planning on Czech and Belgian cooperation activities for the next few months and I presume years, as the world has been changing quite rapidly the last couple of years and recently the whole situation with NATO. So we have to stick together and work together and cooperate together. So that's just my side of this webinar to clarify who is doing what and who is in charge of what. So, but anyhow, FIT is there for you companies, for the Flemish companies, of course, and our colleague Frederick from AWEX and his colleagues. will be more than happy to assist all Walloon companies in connecting them together with Czech companies. Okay, that's it from my side. Thank you.
And that includes Brussels as well.
Okay, sorry about Belgium. It's a big company with a big country. Sometimes it looks like a company, but you know what I meant. Okay,
so all companies can have access to our assistance. Yes, of course.
And indeed, just to end my intervention, I was at this signing ceremony, which was indeed organized by Agoria BSDI, and it was at the Prague House, and it was already a very good sign that cooperation will pick up and speed up very soon. So this is in the framework of the whole cooperation with Belgium and Czech Republic. Thank you very much again for making this webinar possible to all speakers.
Okay, thanks a lot, Arnold, for your intervention. And I have a question from Alain. He's interested to pitch in the reverse next webinar. Maybe, Frederick, you can give an idea when this is planned for further planning.
Sure. The next webinar will take place on the 19th of February. And it will be a seminar dedicated to present the Belgian defense industry to local companies and partners here in Czech Republic. This is the other way of the street as this webinar today, and we wanted to separate both because it would be way too long. So the first one was to present the Czech industry, and the second one will be to present the Belgian industry.
Okay, thanks for this clarification. Any more questions or issues or comments?
I do have a question to Daniel Dobias. How do you solve the problem of ranking up production? Because I think it's a problem for every industrial company. When the market is growing really fast, it's really difficult to adapt. This is my first question. My second one is, do you have any specific plans in order to grow by M&As? I think that the group is buying a lot of companies. Do you have specific targets and companies that you are looking for? These are my two questions.
So thank you for the questions. Regarding the first one, well, it's a problem for everyone because you have, I don't know, it's very problematic because you need to build, if we are, for instance, talking about ammunition. So first of all, you have to think about a place where you can fit it, because you cannot just like build factory out of nowhere. You have to have regulations, licenses, enough space, so it's not like dangerous for the cities, hospitals that could be around. So that's extremely challenging in Europe to do it, because yeah, it's extremely challenging to do it, but we have to do it because we don't have, like, as Europe, that many capabilities right now, and still we are lagging behind as Europe. So very complicated. Then also you need to have a funding, so you have to cooperate with the banks, with the EU institutions regarding regulatory approvals, then with national authorities. So yeah, extremely complicated, but I guess it's for everyone. So it's always challenging. And regarding M&A, as you mentioned, we are buying kind of significant companies. Yes, we have many ideas in mind, and we are looking for other ideas, what we can do. But yeah, you will see in the upcoming months what will happen.
Okay, thank you, Daniel. Anyway, it's the same for you, Czech companies. If you are looking for specific partners and company to buy or invest in, you can always contact us as well. We do have contact, and we have services that can accompany you in those process. So feel free to contact us if you have any specific
Thank you very
targets
much.
within Belgium.
We mentioned Eurosat very many times here, and it's a great opportunity to meet. However, as we know from our experience, it's always very crowded and always super busy. So BEDEX might be a better idea because it will be for the first time that we will be there. Many of our companies will be there. So, you know, Eurosatory, it's like very, very busy. BEDEX, I think, might be maybe a better idea, or we can meet in Brussels.
But we can do it all year long. It's
Yeah, sure, of course.
Yes, it's true for every participant today. We don't have to be specific and linked to a specific event. We can do that all year long if needed.
Of course. Yeah, for sure.
Okay, thanks a lot. I don't see any hands raised, and I conclude that everything is clear for the moment. We will. I'm sure that there will be a follow-up mail on the participants by the organizers, and I'm looking to Frederick and Marketa with a link to download the presentations, maybe, and then maybe some other information that is useful. I'll give the floor back then to Frederick. I wish you all a pleasant day and fruitful cooperation in the future. Frederick, you have the floor.
Thank you, Florian Manhau. Just I wanted just to thank everyone that is present today that took the time to participate, either actively or passively. Thank you very much. As I mentioned, we are here. We are based in Prague, Marketa and myself. Our colleagues are based in Belgium. Our main role is to connect people, so do not hesitate to contact us. And we will do our best in order to help you and accompany you in your strategy, either in Czech Republic or Belgium. Thank you very much. Thank you for everyone.